Hello there, Sam here, and I'm back again to talk about 10 most requested characters for Street Fighter 6. As a personal note, this list is based more on my personal experiences and preferences with the characters in this specific franchise, while using some of the research on various unofficial guides on the internet as a basis. So let's get started. Character number 1, Sakura. Sakura has been a regular character ever since Street Fighter Alpha. She's a high school girl in Japan who's very interested in Ryu and was inspired by his fighting techniques. So much so that she wanted to receive training from him, which after much effort and perseverance, Ryu accepted to train her over time. Afterwards, it was revealed that Sakura had a romantic interest in Ryu, but it has mostly been a one-sided love to this point in time. After high school, she started working part-time and acknowledged that she was not that hardcore of a fighter and even considered becoming a mother. Sakura is considered a Shoto character, which refers to characters who come equipped with an anti-air uppercut, a projectile, and an advancing kick move. Just like Ryu, Sakura moves quite faster compared to other characters in the franchise, and she can also extend her combos, but the caveat is that she delivers a low amount of damage, and her projectile is not quite as effective. Her damage, even in combo form, does not make a great impact. Still, she's a fan favorite and a shoo-in to be added to the game at any point in time. So the possibility of her to be added to the game is actually quite high, so fans of her can look forward to playing with her in any point in the future. Number 2, Sagat. Sagat, established Street Fighter character ever since the original namesake in 1987. His character is usually shown to have a rivalry with Ryu, as he was trying to prove that he was the strongest fighter in the world. Sagat lost his right eye in a duel with Dan's father, Ibuki, who ended up being killed by Sagat himself. He entered the first Street Fighter tournament with his apprentice, Adon, and ended fighting a young Ryu, who in a blind fit of rage dealt a massive wound to Sagat's chest, permanently leaving a scar on his chest. He briefly joined Shadaloo, Bison's organization, and became the #1 operative and leader, second only to Bison. As Sagat only joined to get another rematch with Ryu and win his honor back, when he learned of Shadaloo's true intentions, he deserted and continued to perfect his craft with the occasional bouts with his rival now turned friend Ryu. Sagat uses Muay Thai to apply pressure to his opponents. His moveset is very powerful. His range is longer than most other characters, and combined with his Tiger Shot and Tiger Knee, makes Sagat a very powerful offensive zoner who can apply pressure and keep your opponent on the defensive. He's always been a solid fighter, so the chances of him being added in Street Fighter 6 are pretty good. Number 3, Makoto. Makoto is a hot-headed tomboy who uses karate to fight her foes. She aspired to reopen her late father's dojo since her brother decided to become a businessman and left in pursuit of his own goals. Makoto entered the Street Fighter 4 tournament, but ended up unfortunately losing after a couple of matches. When she got back home, she decided to open the dojo back once again, making the repairs herself with her own 2 hands. After Makoto managed to get another intense sparring session with Ryu, many students flocked to her dojo when they heard how she held her own against Ryu. But there is only one requirement to enter her dojo: beat her in a one-on-one match. She still has 0 students. Her moveset is very powerful. Using karate, she puts her full body weight into every punch and kick. Her Karakusa command grab is very deadly, applying enough stun to set up for any follow-up combos. Her forceful style is very fun to play as for many fans of her character, who would love a chance to play as this spunky tomboy again and to see her next story edition in Street Fighter 6. Number 4, Rainbow Mika. Our Mika is a professional wrestler who started her journey ever since high school. Her lifelong ambition is to become the star of the ring. Thus, she pursues this dream with her tag team partner, Yamato, by fighting the most famous Street Fighters. It's via this strategy that our Mika ends up meeting Zangief and E Honda, helping them on their mission to destroy the Psycho Drive in Street Fighter Alpha, in which they succeed. She admires Zangief very much and fought hard to reach the final stage of wrestling, fighting him head-on in the final match. A final atomic buster from Zangief ended the bout in less than a minute. Though Rainbow Mika lost the match, she still has nothing but respect for Zangief and continues to work out so one day she may beat her idol. Mika's moveset is that of a grappler. Her wrestler moveset is very unique due to the fact that her attacks and grabs are fast and agile, something you don't see in grapplers that often. Her high priority command throws and speed make her a fearsome contender to watch out for. Our Mika has always been a fun character to play, and the fans want to see her come back on Street Fighter 6. Number 5. Poison. Poison is a scrappy fighter from the streets, using her whip and sensuality to render her opponents defenseless against her whip attacks. Originally from the series' final fight, she made her transition from a common antagonist to a playable character in later versions of the game. As part of the Mad Gear gang with her friend and doppelganger, Roxy, they perform crimes and capers to stay out of prison thanks to their gang influence. After her stint with the Mad Gang, she decided to become Hugo's manager, a gigantic beast of a man, who then went to participate in the Street Fighter tournament to try and find the perfect tag team partner for their new wrestling federation, HWA, for which they were mildly successful. Poison's moveset is very agile. In some versions, she carries a riding crop, but most iterations of her character give her a whip. A combination of pro wrestling moves with street fighting, her multi-whip attack, Poison Kiss, and her flipping axle kick make her a fearsome opponent. She has been added in the last 2 games of Street Fighter, so there's a pretty good chance she's already on the roster of new characters to be added to Street Fighter 6. Number 6. El Fuerte. El Fuerte is a Mexican wrestler who also practices his cooking skills in search for the best recipes the world has to offer. He aspires to learn what types of foods fuel the greatest fighters of the world. Too bad his cooking skills are no good. Hopefully, his passion can translate into an actual edible food one of these days. He is friends with Zangief and E Honda, and appears to have a friendly rivalry with T-Hawk, an old sparring buddy of his. And he is a huge fan of our Mika, so much so that he has her likeness all over his cooking apron in some of his scenes. Although he has not been very integral to the story itself, and is mostly a joke character, El Fuerte is a very nimble fighter, able to dodge attacks very easily. His attacks are very unusual and unexpected for a grappler. This one is more of a personal preference of mine, as I found his character and moveset very entertaining and would love a chance to play as him in Street Fighter 6, and hopefully see a more thorough backstory given to El Fuerte. Number 7. Ibuki. Ibuki was found as a baby outside of the village of the fearsome Geki clan. Its members wanted to raise her to be the perfect assassin. Enjo, an assassin from said village, disagreed with the decision of his village, wanting the baby to grow up having the chance to decide whether or not to become a full-fledged ninja or pursue something else. Enjo proceeds to destroy his clan's ninja scrolls and escapes with the baby Ibuki, setting up a new village, clade of ninjas in secret, where she grows up learning the secrets and techniques of ninjutsu. She attends Moriyama High School and has gotten to know Sakura, Makoto, and Elena respectively. She provided her skills and assistance in taking down Shadaloo, stole the mysterious G document from Gil, was able to land a hit on the legendary fighter Oro, and fought the members of the restated Geki clan with her friends. Ibuki is a little bit mischievous and a bit of a rebel, but she's still a young woman looking to find her own way in the world. In the meantime, she's going to college while in search of a path in life and a young man to be in a relationship with. Her fighting style incorporates the aforementioned ninja skills, using kunais and shurikens, instant transfer, and more. Ibuki's rapid successive attacks and great wake-up offense make up for her lack of explosive damage. She's a very fun character to play, and hopefully we will be able to use her in Street Fighter 6. Number 8. Dudley. Dudley was born into a wealthy English family who was discouraged to follow in the family business until his father, a highly paid athlete, lost their fortune. At that point, Dudley picked up a pair of boxing gloves and trained his speed and dexterity to become a formidable boxer and thus win the family fortune back. He is calm and collected, always striving for perfection in everything that he does, from gardening to business investments and other hobbies, treating all of his opponents with respect except for Balrog, who he considers a showboat and not a real boxer. He uses boxing the same as Balrog, but a more traditional style of said form. As a boxer, he excels at close-range fighting, with some range attacks that are a bit lacking in power. Making use of feints and drawback moves in combination with his speed and diving punches evens out his lack of zoning attacks. Dudley is another personal favorite character of mine, and I am hoping this mustachioed gentleman makes a comeback for Street Fighter 6. Number 9. Sea Viper. Crimson Viper is a secret agent leading double lives, employed by Sin to take charge of the Battlesuit Project while reporting their moves and operations to the CIA. She claims she's the only one who can use the suit to its fullest, but most likely she made that up as an excuse for Sin not to mass produce it. During the events of Street Fighter 4, the unit that was conducting research for the CIA was wiped out, which left her as the sole operator of their unit. She made her way inside Sin's headquarters, where she intended to retrieve any info she could find on the organization. She took care of a wounded Seth, but was unable to retrieve a lot of the info she needed, as Tammy destroyed most of it in her efforts to take down Sin. Her moveset is very technical. She's not a powerhouse, but her rushdown attacks excel at keeping her foes off balance, combining her flame, electric, and seismic attacks into her offensive. Even though some of her attacks are a bit slow, she makes up for it by using feints and move cancels, turning her into a dangerous threat. If she is able to make a comeback, let's hope we get more answers as to the 26 targets she's been ordered to eliminate by the CIA, as well as more on her journey as a single mother to her daughter, Lauren. Number 10. Rufus. The hot-headed kung fu aficionado Rufus. Last on the list, he's not the most liked character to a lot of people, but I always thought he was a fun character to play as. His story has no direct interaction with any of the major events in Street Fighter. His reason for entering the tournament? Jealousy against Ken Masters, and how they consider him as one of the strongest American fighters, which he read in a newspaper way out in the desert. With his tandem motorcycle and beautiful girlfriend riding with him, Rufus decides to join the tournament to get a shot against Ken Masters, which for all intents and purposes, he loses his bout against him. As we see in the final scene, Rufus ride off into the desert, accompanied by his girlfriend Candy, talking about vacationing on the island of Hawaii. His moveset is no joke though. Despite his size, Rufus is fast and nimble, using his kung fu training and karate to deal with his opponents. Although he lacks in the range department, his special attacks can help overcome this by bypassing projectiles altogether and close the distance with his solid mix-ups. Space Opera Symphony and his Messiah kick could counter the strongest of attacks easily, and his dive kick could be spammed at any height. Even Justin Wong, a prominent competitor in the fight game scene, used this joke character to win a couple of tournaments. If he ever comes back, a more compelling outfit and a more fleshed out background for his character could be just the ticket he needs to make his comeback worthwhile. And that about wraps it up for this video. Do you agree or disagree with some of the choices in this list? Comment down below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.